Yay, and we are live. And thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are watching live, go ahead and drop where you're chatting from in the comment section. And thank you for tuning in with me live today. For those of you all who do not know me, my name is Michelle, aka The Ignited Teacher. And what I do on my channel is I help math teachers to increase student achievement by providing them with strategies that are researched and evidence-based that can be implemented in their classrooms as early as the next day. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, Stephanie. Welcome to our live stream. So if you are new here, that's who I am. And thank you for tuning in with me this evening. And if you're not new, thank you for being a part of my community. And if you are watching this on the replay, and if you have to click out for or hop off for any moment, because I know life happens, so you can always find all of my live streams, videos on YouTube at the live streaming, the Ignited Teacher on YouTube. So also, if you are looking for some free resources, you can find them on my blog at www.fuelgreatminds.com. I'm going to drop that in the chat. So that is my blog post. And what I do is provide some tips for you all, things on project-based learning, math instruction, classroom management, response to intervention, and technology integration. So thank you for being here. So you, anytime you want to look up some things or you're searching for something, my blog or my YouTube channel are always available. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get started with tonight's topic. There's this wide misconception, and about testing. Testing equates learning, and that's the furthest from the truth. And I can tell you that as someone who has been in the profession for 24 years, this is my 24th year in education, testing does not equate learning. It doesn't. Testing, depending on what it is, or assessing students, it is a way to see where they are. We are in this test prep phase of the school year, and the American school system, education, K-12 education system, has a love affair with testing. A test is only one data point in time. And I want to share a blog from a blog post from my blog. It's called, and I wrote this years ago because I just happened to be really, really frustrated with test prep. And a lot of teachers feel like, oh, if I test prep the kids together, give them all these worksheets, it's going to make the kids do better. I am here to tell you that it's actually going to do the opposite. You're going to burn your children out, and they're not going to want to put forth the effort. So in this blog post, I talk about how to actually teach during test prep, and I give some practical ideas about keeping your mindset together. So at the end of the day, everybody's not going to pass your standardized test, especially if you're not teaching an above grade level subject. I mean, above grade level area. If you're not teaching those kids, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to pass everything, which is fine. Because what testing does is sucks the life out of the human aspect. Some of your children are going to fail, and that's just where we are. If you are at a grade level where you can get growth, some of your kids are going to grow. Some are like, if you have special ed kids, focus on them meeting their IEP goal. Because I'm pretty sure their IEP goal is not for them to pass whatever the standardized test is if they have it in their deficit area. So focus on that. It's about mindset. The second one is I created a new test prep plan. A lot of the times in the past, prior to me falling out of love with this beep, 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 give worksheet, worksheet. Now that the test is online, you want the kids to be blinded by over exposure to screen time on the computer. You have to find a test prep plan that works for you. At this time, my students, we still watch CNN News. We would do some test prep, Kahoot, Flipgrid, or Plickers. That's what I did. Then I would do a mini lesson. And then I will have a new or review skill with some blended learning. And then I would pull in some project-based learning. So you can't, testing does not necessarily mean that the kids are learning. It's what you're doing in your classroom and the plan that you actually set in place. Now, if you want to know whether or not your kids are learning, this is a daily mastery check template that I use in my classroom, that I have been using in my classroom. So this template it has the name, you can take notes, and it goes back to here. If you're going to do these things in your classroom, you can still see if your children are gaining mastery. The idea about test prep is 2 parts. The kids have to know the content, especially if you're teaching math. That's just the bottom line. They have to know. But the other part is, are they familiar with the testing format? That's really what test prep is about. The teaching part should remain the same, and that will give you the confidence that, hey, I'm still teaching. My kids are still learning. I'm refining things. I'm keeping them engaged. I'm not going to burn them out. It's all about your plan. So just because you're test prepping doesn't mean that the kids are learning anything new. You're not going to refine anything with a test. And I'm saying that about a standardized test. It just doesn't work that way. Because what I do know is testing only gauges at the application level, especially a multiple choice question. Now, if you are in a state where you have constructive response, they obviously bump the depth of knowledge to a different level. But if you're in the state of Texas, math doesn't have extended responses. They don't. They have drop-down menus and all these other things, but there is no extended constructive response or where it builds. That's all in English language arts. So if you want to make sure that your kids are continuously learning through this test prep phase, you need to constantly make sure that you're infusing these other things that you continuously did before the test prep. Now, one of the things that I do recommend is that you have a mini lesson every day. You should have a mini lesson every day. Mini lessons are going to be based on your mastery check. And it doesn't have to be every day. It could be, hey, I'm going to cover these over the course of this day. And you have to adjust. Even though you may have a test prep calendar, doesn't mean that that is cemented or set in stone. That means that that's the plan. But if you go back to your mastery check and you say, hey, they really don't know this, the percentage is low, or it's bouncing around, you can change that calendar plan. You can change that plan. So just know that just because you're testing does not mean that the kids are learning anything. If you want to make sure you have a sound plan in place to make sure that the kids are continuously learning. Because one thing I do know, your tier 1 kids that are on grade level or may even be above grade level, they will check out on you. First of all, those going to be the kids that check out first. Notice on my blog post, one of my recommendations was project-based learning. You can have a couple of day projects for those kids that are high, or have mastered it. I have done test prep where I put my kids in homogeneously grouped groupings at their tables, where the kids that got it were all together and the kids that didn't, I worked with them or bounced between them, gave them some problem solving, and let the kids that got it just go on. There is some flexibility in that. Make your test prep plan to where, somebody can't go in your classroom, because we have these administrators, God bless their hearts, they come in here and try to say, well, this is not rigorous enough. So, to keep that down, you have your mastery check, you have your plan, the things that you're going to do. Your kids are engaged because you already know that the evaluations are coming. That's a no-brainer. And with this evaluation systems that are being rolled out across the country, it's bananas. It is. So make sure you have a plan in place for them that mimics and the learning continues. So if you're interested in this topic, I have a workshop that is coming up on April 6th at 3 p.m. But here's the catch. My workshop registration will be closing on April 6th at midnight. So you only have until midnight to join. It's called From Stress to Success, Transformative Test Prep for Math Educators. And if you don't know what that means, it's kind of like what I just gave you. A plan, something that is different from what you are used to doing. I have done this before, and obviously it worked. And it's something that I believe that teachers need to understand. Like, our kids are under more stress than they have been, that I've seen in all of my career. And they're just not, a lot of them are stressors at home. I think after COVID was something that the kids really, really struggled with. And we have a different generation of children now. COVID reshaped a lot of different things with the students. So you have to take in that account. But I must have been ahead of the time, because I changed my test prep and how I prepped kids prior to COVID taking place. So again, I popped the link into the comment section. If you're interested in joining us, that link is in the comment section on YouTube if you're watching there. I hope that you're leaving here just a little bit smarter today. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the workshop, you can leave them in the comment section and I will respond as soon as possible. Thank you for hanging out with me for these 20 minutes, and I'll be looking for your name on the workshop. Bye-bye.